So it's actually been over a year since we did our tutorials on Magic School when it first came out, and we had all those all the hype around it and everything, and
It's
we
kind of the first big one, right, to come on the scene in the
yeah
ed tech world.
yeah, and I continuously whenever I've got meetings with administrators or people at school districts, it's one of those tools where they've done a lot of work in getting the tools available to teachers, and then also ensuring that students can access them as well, which is part of what we'll go over today with some of the update stuff. But what I want to cover first of all is they're continuously pushing out new tools, both for the teachers and for students. So I'm going to cover a bit of that and some of the newer cards that are available. Um, Really, I think that one of the nice things is regardless of the fact that they're adding all these different tools to it in their Magic Tools section, the the layout is familiar no matter what you go to, right? So you've got, like, it's a guided process always. It always, whatever you've got to input into it is always going to fit the tool itself. So we'll look at some of that. And then some of the stuff that they're doing with the launch to students rooms and the tools that are available there. And then some of the stuff that they're doing with student AI literacy and data privacy as well, which is a big piece because, and I think that's a determining factor too now with a lot of schools where, you know, we want to use these tools, but we have to ensure that they're meeting, FERPA or COPA or those are things that we actually have to take into account. And a lot of times we as tech integrationists are very hesitant to recommend tools to teachers if they're not doing that at this point. So so we'll talk about that as well. But just to start out, some of the so as I mentioned, when they first came out, it was estimated that they had somewhere between, what was it, 50 and 60 tools or something like that.
Something like
Um,
that.
yeah, and so I actually went through and I counted how many they've got available now for the Magic tools that are available to teachers in this section, and there's 86 tools now. So you can click on whichever ones are going to make sense for you. I feel like they've reached a really broad range of things that are available for anybody at the school district that you might be working at or with. And so there's no lack of tools here with Magic School. So some of the newer ones that I would just want to point out are going to be things like, we've got like our 504 plan generator. This is one where you can generate a draft of a 504 plan. Um, I think one thing that's also nice is that with any of these, if you're not really sure where to start, using this exemplar, which we have showcased in the past with our previous tutorials, you can look at some, what does this tool do exactly? What does it offer you? Um, and I've had a lot of conversations, it seems like, lately around special education. I just met with some sped directors recently, and they wanted to know, what are all the tools that are out there with AI that can enhance both, their work life, or the things that they've got to do with their professional tasks, and what can teachers that they work with use as well. And so the 504 plan draft is nice. You kind of add that into what had been there, which was like the accommodations and modifications tools that are available and have been for a while now in Magic School. But that 504 behavior plan is nice. You can get a template to start working from, and then use that continuously. So that's really nice. There's also the 5E model lesson plan.
Hey, I notice you're using that search toolbar up at the top. I would imagine with 86 different tools,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
that's going to be pretty important rather than the play hide and seek with the other with the cards in the big list.
Yeah, yep. And you can, so one thing that's nice is we've mentioned this in our previous video, and this has been a feature that's been around for a while. I could also do this where like that 504 plan generator, if I want to use that a lot, just favorite that, right? And that will be up at the top now. So something that you're continuously coming back to. Otherwise, yeah, the search works great. Like for this, I'm searching out the 5E model lesson plan. This is actually really cool because this will basically make like science lesson plans, and there's you can put in like your obviously your grade level, your objective. There's some additional customization stuff here. So if you want to be specific about including hands-on activities or group work or anything like that, that's where you can put that in. And then you can also put in your standards, attach things if as needed. But let's just look at an exemplar of this. I have done this a couple times. What I like about this is that it follows a process, and you see that process here. There's 5 areas that they try to include in this. So that's your 5 E's. That's why it's called that. So you have engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. Those are all core pieces to this whenever you make one of these. And it does break down for you, what does that mean, right? So then when you actually get into it, you've got your aligned standards, and then following that, you have your hands-on activities, which are going to be specific to this particular lesson. One thing that I really love about this is that you've got your lesson plan here. So exploring the musculoskeletal system, and then each following piece of this lesson, I like how they actually put in some of the prompting that occurs that Magic School does to build this out. So in this purple sections, you're going to see like in what are some things that you could actually do, because these are pieces of the exemplar. So what happened when the exemplar was clicked and I generated it, these were the prompt pieces that happened in order to produce each individual part. So like here, what are some examples of hands-on activities for simulating the functions of muscles, tendons, ligaments, and bones? Those are all those that was what was prompted to produce these. So something to just keep in mind is if you're going to be doing this on your own, putting your own information in there, you could put all your different prompts in there to generate whatever you would like, right? Um, and then you can always edit it and things like that. But this is fully fleshed out. You've got your different pieces for hands-on activities. This one covers real-world applications. You've got like an actual example here of what they're supposed to do for an idea. This one is in regard to pre-nursery students. And then it's got like a actual breakdown of what they're supposed to accomplish here. So your instructions writing should be legible. Don't leave any questions without attempting. Don't write anything on a question paper. And then this is a whole activity for them to do. So I think what I want to get across with this 5E piece here is that it's very extensive. There's a lot to it. And then you can still edit it and do whatever you want to do there, right? So play around with the exemplar with this. Figure out what works for you. But the best feature I think about this is that you can use the 5E lesson plan to get a really comprehensive lesson plan to use with students. A couple other ones that are worth touching on is you've got the sentence starters ones. So, and this one would be good for working with students as well. But this is for teachers. They can provide sentence starters on any topics, assignment, standard, or objective. This one's going to be a little bit more simplified than our 5E model lesson plan, but sentence starters are really nice to get students thinking in a certain direction about whatever topic, assignment, standard you're on. And then another one, which is I think probably widely used, is the email responder. Let me see if I can. Right here. Okay, so I needed a dash. Email responder is nice, really, for whatever context you need it for. So if if this is like a email home to a parent, or if it's to your administrator, or if it's to your staff, whatever it happens to be for, given your position or what task you've got in front of you. I like how you can put in your name, email you're responding to, which is interesting. So let's say we are doing the parent one, right? And you have a parent that's not exactly happy about something. It's interesting that you can put in the email that you got. So if Jeremy emails me and says he's mad because our video isn't up on time, um, that I didn't get it on YouTube, then I could put that in there, and then I could use it as a way to uh, respond in a very kind way and say I'm working on it, and give me some time or whatever. So
You're
uh,
such a professional.
yeah,
That's amazing. Yeah.
right. So yep. So you could put that in here, and I think some people have actually expressed to me before how they like things like this, because they maybe just don't know how to respond to email in the best way, or sometimes emotions get involved, and so you've got that going on, and you can respond in an effective way. But um okay, so that would be some of the ones that are newer, from our last video. I think one thing to point out too for everybody is that you can sort by newest, which I think is nice because it does tag certain added ones in here that are new. So because of the fact that, like I said at the beginning, stuff continuously has been getting added, it's nice to, if you every time you come back, maybe just do that, sort by new, or you can click this new tag, and it'll grab those that are tagged with that. So those are all really good. Um, Now, in terms of the student tools, there's a bunch that have been added as well. So you've got, if we here's what we'll kind of look at. You can launch the room to the students as we've done before. So if you want to click launch a new room in this area, here's where we would actually add the tools. So a couple that have come out that are worth mentioning is, one of them is going to be writing feedback. So if you want to give this to students, to be able to write, put in their, like, something that they've written up, and then get feedback on it. It's a good way to do it with some of their rough draft things that they've been working on. Another one is going to be SAT prep. So you can, do like a practice SAT reading test. That's a good one as well. And then another one for students would be the research assistant. So find information and sources to a research project. So once you do have the, whatever one you want to launch in there to students, again, this is one of the newer ones, like the SAT ELA practice test. You can put it in the tools to launch section. So you just add whatever ones you want. Again, you could do like the research assistant. We'll grab that and throw that in here as well. And then you hit next, and then you can launch the room as is. You can also customize these. So if there's something you want to change about this, and what that looks like, you can put in your different name, description, and then we can take a look at what this might look like for the student, before actually launching it out. And then you can determine, like, do you want to remove certain tools or make more available? Just really depends. But this would be an example of one of the newer tools, which is the SAT preparation. So you can see there, it's just producing it. You can still edit things, determine how you want to push that out to students, add additional comments or changes to it. Ask the chat bot here for changes. But this is what it would look like, and then you can launch that to students. And then the last thing that I think is important to point out that Magic School is focusing on is ethical AI use. So, and like I said at the beginning, we are constantly trying to make sure that there's compliance with data privacy. There's a student AI literacy section that is worth pointing out. You can take a look at that, and it'll bring you to the AI literacy, what Magic School is doing for students. Um, so one of the things is you can see here their 93% privacy rating. They're meeting the COPA, FERPA, and AICPA guidelines. So this is something that you can kind of look over. There's some resources here that you can use from Magic School to help continue to train students on AI literacy. But this is one of the things that is extremely important, I know, for us as an organization, because it takes away that concern of can we recommend this to teachers to be using with their students? And that's always the question with any of the tools that we're pushing out. And so that allows us to do that, which is very nice.